know, you're having one of the best seasons in program history. Can you just tell me just what that feels like to be coaching with this?
Well, first of all, to say that at this place is really saying something because we have such an incredible storied history of success. But honestly, we're having a lot of fun.
You see it?
And I give all the credit to our upperclassmen like Jalen Sherrod, Quay Miller, Frida Foreman, Kendall Wetta, who's only a sophomore but a great leader, and those guys have just really set the tone. Very high expectations of themselves every single day in practice. We have high level of accountability amongst our veterans, and we just are having fun.
You said fun, and I've heard fun over and over again. Plus, I've been here at practices, and I know that practice can be fun.
Yeah.
Why is it that you think of coaching as getting on someone, and you think of it as being hard, but why do you believe that coaching can also just be fun?
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it's still a kid's game that we're playing. There's high stakes, there's a lot of money, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of all that, but in the end, it is a kid's game. Like, these girls love basketball. That's why they're here. We try to keep that perspective. We really work to have great relationships on the floor, off the floor. And so I think when you have that and when you invest in that, you can have fun. We compete, we get after it. When it's not good enough, we talk about it, but we also know that the more fun you have, the harder you play, the better the outcome usually is.
And now I couldn't ask you because you're the most humble person in the world, so I wasn't going to ask you about your own award, but you are a top 15 finalist for Coach of the Year. What does that mean to you?
Well, it's definitely an honor to have my name listed among those types of names. But truly, like if Toriana wasn't running our defense, if Jalen wasn't our point guard, if Quay wasn't our power forward, if Frida wasn't knocking down threes, if you know what I'm saying, like it's all encompassing. And yeah, it's a huge honor for the program, I would say, for us to be in that type of group.
And I wouldn't expect any other response.
There you go. I am who I am. Hey, hold up. All I want to say is, hell yeah, that was great.
You brought in Shelly Sheets to be on your coaching staff. How has she actually made a difference to this team?
Yeah, Shelly's great. Well, for one, elevated expectation. She immediately started talking about our history, our past, our success, what those teams looked like, what they embodied. And it's interesting because in the summer we did a team retreat and she said to the group, this team reminds me a lot of that 93 team. How they bought into their roles, how they were tough, how they outworked people is very much who we are, and so it was interesting to sort of see the parallels between those teams.
Where do you see this team when it's all said and done at the end of this year?
I don't know where we'll end up, but I see us being very proud, of who we are and what we've done. People like Jay and Quay and Kendall, who stayed home in the state, came to the University of Colorado to do something special, to help establish a culture of excellence, culture of winning, a culture of competing for championships. They came here when there was no real reasonable expectation of those things happening, and they've poured their heart and soul into this place to make sure that that's a reality. So we'll be proud wherever it is, if it's in the Final Four, if it's wherever it might be, we will be very proud of everything we've done.